One person was arrested after shots were fired at a Democratic campaign office in Arizona. What police discovered after the arrest. And several areas are still experiencing teacher shortages. We'll hear about what challenges the industry faces.
We've had a dry October so far, but rain chances are in the forecast. I'll have your details. More First at 4 is next.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
A man is under arrest accused of shooting at a Democratic Party campaign office in Tempe, Arizona. Police say the 60-year-old suspect had a huge arsenal of guns and ammunition in his home and may have been planning a mass casualty event. CBS's Jared Hill reports.
Justice does not have a political party. There is no place in the city of Tempe for political threats or intimidation.
On Tuesday afternoon, police surrounded Jeffrey Michael Kelly's car during a traffic stop before hauling him away in handcuffs. He was arrested on terrorism charges in connection with a string of shootings at a Democratic Party campaign office. Officials say the 3 shootings started back in September and all happened around midnight. During one incident, Kelly allegedly fired BB pellets and then gunshots at the glass front door and a window. At a news conference, police said that after 5 weeks of investigation, it was tips by people in Kelly's neighborhood that led police to him. During his first court appearance Wednesday morning, prosecutors told the court that back in July, Kelly did a Google search for the DNC office's address, and officials said that during a search at his home, they found more than 120 guns, over 250,000 rounds of ammunition, and .22 caliber casings in his trash can, along with scopes, silencers, a grenade launcher, and body armor. Officials say Kelly was seen hanging suspicious bags containing a white powdery substance from several political signs, lined with razor blades just a day before his arrest. They say at least one of those bags was found to just contain baking powder. Kelly was released on bail and ordered under house arrest. His attorney says Kelly is a retired aerospace engineer with no prior record and legally owned his firearms. Following their discovery, officials say they believe Kelly was planning a much bigger mass casualty. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And we will have further coverage at 5:30 on Republican and Democratic candidates' campaign stops.
An average fall day continues across eastern Kentucky. We've seen temperatures sitting really in the high 60s, low 70s, and as you can see, going up even into parts of Prestonsburg, Jackson, still sitting in those mid 60s. Just an overall pretty pleasant day. Humidity's not too high at all, and that's a stark difference from yesterday, where we were seeing temperatures that were sitting almost double digits above what we are right now, getting into parts of the low 80s, even set a record in London for a record high of 82 yesterday. So this much cooler weather is definitely needed. Going into tonight, we're going to see temperatures in the low 40s, maybe a few high 30s as well. Continues into the Kentucky River Valley, Jackson 39, Hindman as well 39, and the Big Sandy, we're seeing more mid 30s. They are going to be a little bit cooler out in the Big Sandy. Even Sandy Hook sitting at 34 degrees. Could be a much cooler night, but if you have the chance, go out and grill. I know I can't get my double quarter pounders, but I definitely can go out on the grill and go cook those as I go out tonight, because it's going to be real sunny. Steve?
All right, Drake, thank you. Many Kentucky school districts are still dealing with a teacher shortage. Superintendents tell us that application numbers have dwindled, especially in more rural areas. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to educators about the challenges and rewards facing the profession.
Mercer County had very few vacancies this past school year, but that has not been the case over the past couple of years. In fact, in some districts in southern Kentucky where they had 30 to 40 applications for one teaching position, this year they may have only had 10. Eastern Kentucky is where a lot of the teaching vacancies are in place, but Mercer County school leaders say they were recently told some really good news.
You know, we were the only school district, I believe, in the state that had no certified openings in September. So that was great for us.
I didn't know what I wanted to do.
But the shortage is so bad that some universities are working directly with school districts to address the problem. Asbury University hosted hundreds of high school students Thursday, including 200 from Knott County.
Knott County is one of those eastern Kentucky counties, Appalachian counties, where they are desperately trying to find teachers.
I don't want to go to a job every day where I'm not going to deal with people and I don't feel like I'm making an impact on people's lives.
And I am told that math, science, and special education positions are especially hard to fill. In Mercer County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Teachers we spoke with today said despite the pay or pension not being ideal, a lot of their reward is seeing the change they can make in kids' lives. President Joe Biden has ordered U.S. national security agencies to harness new and powerful artificial intelligence technology. A senior administration official says the goal is to embrace the potential power of AI with security-based restrictions. The national security prohibits using AI regarding the deployment of nuclear weapons. Officials with the administration say other world powers are already using AI in civilian and military settings. Florida state officials have filed a lawsuit asking a judge to stop the federal government from blocking an investigation into the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump. The suspect, Ryan Roth, was arrested at Trump's golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida last month. The Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody says federal officials told state investigators they must suspend their investigation because of a statute in the law being used to prosecute Ruth. One person was hurt and one building was damaged after rocket fire in the Middle East. A rocket fired from the military in Lebanon injured an 84-year-old man and damaged a building in the northern Israeli city of Carmel. Police said several others received treatment after the rocket fire. The United States is continuing to work on potential peace talks between those fighting in the area. North Korea has sent approximately 1,500 troops to train in Russia. Reports say they are training for combat in Ukraine. South Korea's National Intelligence Service also said they had been working with the Ukrainian intelligence service and had used facial recognition artificial intelligence technology to identify North Korean officers. North Korea has sent nearly 13,000 containers of war equipment to Russia since August of last year. The FAA has started an audit of 45 major airports aiming to reduce close calls on the nation's runways. Just days ago in San Diego, air traffic controllers briefly put two Southwest planes on a potential collision course. CBS's Chris Van Cleve talks about the dangers with two pilots who survived another close call.
Southwest aboard.
As this NTSB animation shows, a FedEx 767 came within 150 to 170 feet of landing on top of a Southwest 737 at the Austin, Texas airport last February. It was an extremely foggy morning. Air traffic controllers in the tower couldn't see the runway, but cleared the Southwest flight to take off and FedEx to land. FedEx Captain Hugo Carvajal was at the controls.
And as soon as the tower cleared them to take off, we knew that there was an issue because we were about 3 miles, which is too close at that point.
Just moments before possible disaster, FedEx First Officer Robert Pradine saw something through the fog below.
I saw a light that turned out to be the position light on the Southwest airplane, and quickly saw the silhouette following that and called for a go-around.
What goes through your mind as you're seeing an airplane that shouldn't be there?
Obviously, there's a moment of disbelief. Am I really seeing this? Is this really an airplane right there? And then training and experience kick in.
Last Wednesday, another close call near the Austin airport when the FAA says a Cessna unexpectedly flew within hundreds of feet of an American Airlines 737 on approach to land from Chicago, forcing the pilots of American Flight 2587 to take an evasive maneuver before landing safely. And earlier this month in San Diego, controllers briefly put two Southwest planes on a potential collision course after clearing one plane to taxi across the runway the other was using to take off.
Southwest 1478 canceled takeoff clearance.
Former NTSB Chair Robert Sumwalt was part of an FAA committee reviewing close calls that made 24 safety recommendations.
I certainly think things are moving in the right direction. It's important that those of us in the aviation profession, we not lose vigilance and that we continue to push for better procedures, better technology, better staffing, and that we don't get complacent.
The FAA says close calls, especially those happening on runways, are rare and on the decline. In a new audit, the agency will look to identify any additional gaps in procedures, equipment, or processes at the nation's 45 busiest airports. Recommendations to further reduce the risk of runway close calls are expected by next year.
Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington.
Coming up on First at 4, porch pirates can be out in communities more often as the holidays get closer. We see how one idea caught a thief in the act.
And we're currently on pace to set a record for dryness. We're going to keep an eye out for that slight chance of rain. The details in just a few minutes.